There is much more going on than meets the eye. The adventure begins here.
Cool.
And that's how trades are done on CS Money. With Hellcase multi-cases, you're no longer restricted by random case opening mechanisms. Now, you are able to pick any of the cells containing skins and actually determine what you win. Use the promo code and dive right in.
Hey guys, looks like we can continue on with our second map of the best of 3. I'm not sure if there's going to be a knife round taking place, but it should be. Yes, looks like there will be a knife round taking place. Of course, for those that are tuning in, welcome. This is the StarSeries Season 7 European Qualifiers. Right now we finally hit our playoff stage, which does mean that this match between 3D Max and Red Reserve is of quite big importance here. For now, we saw the first map going out in heavily favored Red Reserve as they were pretty much able to decimate the Frenchmen. I think it was like 16-7 on a map like Nuke, which may I remind you folks, was the map pick of 3D Max. Here though, it is the map pick of Red Reserve, and for now, I don't really see a reason why I should be doubting their performance, especially of how well they were able to play against the likes of 3D Max on a map like Nuke. So right now, this is of course going to be a map where Red Reserve going to be feeling quite comfortable if this is their own map pick. And if anyone's going to be feeling some pressure here, it's probably going to have to be 3D Max. I'm not really sure how well the track record is here for 3D Max on a map like Cash, but I will say this though. It's probably not as good as for Red Reserve. Actually, I can pull off the stats real quick if you guys are interested to know. Right, so 3D Max, we got a 38% win rate on a map like Cash out of 13 maps, and for Red Reserve, that's in fact 73% out of 11 maps. So obviously it's looking a bit better here for the Swedes. Early on here, we get to see a bit of a investment here of utility for the 3D Max players. They have a Molotov as well as a smoke grenade in the hands of Jinx. Not sure where's going to be using that set of utility just yet, as even though the majority of the 3D Max players are stationed towards this B bomb site, it doesn't necessarily mean that they will commit, but as they are shifting their way here, yep, it's pretty obvious where they're going to be going. But right now, we can see this setup here for Red Reserve could be quite powerful, yet Maka shuts down Hapless in its entirety. And right about now, they got themselves a good chance here for 3D Max to continue on pushing on the bomb side. But as we can see, they're definitely taking their sweet time, and this does mean that, yep, Maka gets 2 kills right now. He's able to single-handedly open up the B bomb site, and apparently that's not where 3D Max want to go. They can very simply go back to the A bomb site, which seems to be their main goal. Freddy B has been, well, put in a pretty awkward position. If he goes back towards the A bomb site through CT spawn, he's going to get shut down. If he continues on moving forward through the B holes, he will just die, well, not necessarily die, but he will run out of time. Is he? Yeah, got the defuse. Actually, no, that's a Molotov. Didn't any of the Red Reserve... Ah, there you go. He finally picks it up. But like I said, I mean, look at the positioning here of David PP, and the rest of the guys are here as well. So that will be around here for 3D Max, and pretty good one, I'll say, for the Frenchman. Maka was able to do some serious work with that pistol of his. And even though the setup for Red Reserve, at least at the early stages, looked very solid, 3D Max players were just able to penetrate it that easily. This is going to be just a full-on eco here for Red Reserve. The only guy that ends up buying anything is in fact Rusty with a 1 flash, which in itself I do like this. That sometimes we'll get to see teams prioritizing utility instead of just the basic pistols. Because with now Rusty having the simple flash, you could ask like, oh, there could be a flash coming out here from middle, they could just find some kills here, but as the flash gets deployed, there's still not a single kill working out here for Red Reserve, but in fact there's a Dragon fighting one against David P. But let's be real, this will still be quite the difficult round here for the Swedes to actually win, because they only have the full ecoing pistols, the USPs in fact. No Kevlar to boot. Looks like it will be quite the easy round for 3D Max. They end up losing a couple of their players, so it's not the cleanest of ecos, but I can't really say it was too hard for them to win. Some solid stuff right now, but as we can see, on the back of that eco, Red Reserve will now have a bit more extra money in this round, and this will only let them, the rifles, not the most amount of utility. In fact, no diffuse kits on the side of Red Reserve, but most importantly, you have a guy like Hampus who's got an AWP being purchased. So I wonder where on earth is Hampus going to be playing right now. Is he going to be stationed towards the B side? Maybe. Where is Hampus? I can't really see him on the map. I think he's somewhere towards connector, it seems like. But we do get to see this push actually taking place here. The B bombs. There's only loads of Freddy B to try and stop this push, but it's going to be so difficult, and yet Freddy B is able to find all the kills necessary to stop these Frenchies from moving forward, and there's another kill for Haji, but we have to admit, this will be quite a difficult round here for 3D Max. Yes, there's a player on the bomb side, but the bomb's been dropped here on the checkers room, and that's easy kills for Rusty, and most importantly, a round here for Red Reserve. It was pretty odd to see that the 3D Max players, while as they were entering the B bomb site, they didn't really prioritize actually hitting the site itself. It looked like they just wanted to make their way towards CD spawn, interestingly enough, avoiding 3D in its entirety. And honestly, they had such good opportunity to just take over the bomb site, and yet they kind of screwed that one up. Seems to be that Grux ended up hearing a couple of those footsteps towards main. So he deploys an early smoke grenade to prevent any of the Frenchmen from pushing forward, which looks like it has done its purpose. They're not going to be pushing anytime soon by the looks of things. But if anything, because the majority of these players from 3D Max are actually regrouping and grouping up for this bomb site push here, I wouldn't be too surprised if it will go down here to this simple push here from 3D Max. They have some utility in their pockets, so I'm almost certain it's going to be used to maybe smoke off some of the more basic positions like highway, maybe even the car if they're planning on setting up some of the more neat smokes. But that doesn't seem to be the case here for 3D Max. There's one smoke grenade being deployed, and looks like the rest will just follow through. 3D Max going to continue on with their push here on the bomb site. So far, so good there, but they're still not able to find a single kill. As we can see, it's in fact Grux coming in alive. And it just looks like it might just be a pretty quick and easy cleanup here. There's Grux finding all the kills here for Red Reserve. And suddenly he's got 3 kills on the defensive, and a scoreline that has been even up here, 2-2. But the scoreline now being even up, you can see that Red Reserve, in fact, do have themselves a pretty good opportunity to get one more round of the board, as the guys here from 3D Max just have to go for an eco. Well, this is looking, yep, this is looking pretty easy right now for Red Reserve. At least this round, at the very least. We can see that not a single player has fallen here for Red Reserve. And by the looks of things, David P will have quite a difficult time here against the players with rifles. And there you go, that is quite an easy round for Red Reserve. And most importantly, runs like that where you end up not losing a single player do help up building that economy, so that's pretty good. Ooh, nice try there, Maka. I think he had a pretty good spawn here to actually try to go for that push towards main, but we can see that Hampus there was a bit quicker on the trigger. This is still looking like a pretty good round here for Red Reserve, as they put themselves in a position where it's a 4-3, and yet Jinx has made his way out of team main. If anything, Red Reserve are going to have to be a bit more careful in this defensive here on the A bomb side. It looks like that 3D Max not going to be slowing down here too much. Just want to continue on with the push. Good flashbang here on Hampus, and yet he's just dancing around through the smoke, and Hampus finds that kill. But the question is, for how long can Hampus survive in this position? He needs his teammates to back him up. The smokes end up fading, and Hampus with the no-scope. This is just looking horrible for 3D Max, as Hampus with some great dance maneuvers is able to take down a couple of those guys from 3D Max. I have to admit, that was some great movement from him. Well, things aren't looking too good here for 3D Max. We can see that they're actually, yeah, after this round, they will have reached maximum lose many bonus, so they're pretty much prepping up for a loss here, another loss here. Because if they end up losing this round, at the very least, they will have a bit more extra money in their pockets, so looks like that's the pretty much main goal here for 3D Max. To try and get some kills if possible. It's not looking too good here for 3D Max, though. There's one kill working out for them. But you gotta find that one kill. Draken though. Oh, how did Draken get his way into main? This is pretty awkward right now, as with that rifle being recovered here by Fearock, they got a bit more room to move around. Hampus. Oh, good shot from Hampus though. Still gonna make things a bit more difficult here for 3D Max, as Haji alongside Fearock gonna continue on slowly but surely, moving towards this bomb site. Rusty though holding the off angle, something that 3D Max may not anticipate. However, looks like Rusty's gonna try to bring the fight to the T players. There's one kill for Rusty, and of course he's hoping to see the second guy to be right next to him. There we go. There's the 5th round being acquired by Red Reserve, and most importantly for them, this is now 5 rounds being won on the CT side. Yes, they might have ended up losing the pistol round, but they have won so many gun rounds at this point, and this is just looking solid stuff here from Swedes. Of course, now we can just see they got so much money to work with here. Red Reserve, we get to see Draken on the sniper rifle. There's Hampus as well. They're rolling in money at this point. It kind of looks like 3D Max might want to keep things pretty simple here. I'll just try to go for a simple rush here at the bomb side, but oh, the boost looks like it's gonna come through here for Red Reserve. Doesn't look like any of the 3D Max players gonna continue on getting a spray through. Now it looks like, yeah, we get to see some of that utility now being deployed here over the A bomb site, and this is now where 3D Max have to try to get at least one more round here on the terrorist side, because things are looking dire here for the Frenchman. There's a nade being deployed for the B, can't see a damn thing, and now as he turns up, you get to see a lot of these players coming his way, and yet he can't land up a shot on the single one of them, still being blinded with the flash grenades. Finally, Freddy B can get something done here, and he's able to do it in pretty quick succession. Some couple frags, sure, but maybe in that position he could have done a lot more. But right now, Hampus and Rusty can have to go for the retake here, but in fact, there's really no retake as the bomb still hasn't gone down here. Maka stuck in a pretty awful position right now. Hampus could have been able to get that kill, but at the very least, ooh, they anticipate Rusty to be there. Of course, Maka gonna try to get the bomb down in here towards the default position. But, oh yes, Hampus knows the position there of Maka. So it's going to be very difficult for him to get out of there. And there we go. There's the kill for Hampus. It's all up to Fearoff to try to get this clutch in. I would say that Red Reserve, yep, they clearly know his positioning. And that it will be one more round here for the Swedes, as this is just looking like a solid CT side. Yep, looks like the timer will now be taken here by, I presume, the Freedom X players because, well, they're the ones who have lost 6 rounds in a row, so obviously they know that something's not really working out for us on the terrorist side. So I do wonder what the discussion is going to be all about. They obviously have a coach in the roster, so he just might be able to give some intel for them. As I mean, the good thing about having a coach, it may not necessarily, while it's being the players, you know, seeing stuff from your own POV, you might not necessarily get the bigger picture of why you end up losing some of these rounds. But once you have a guy like VKLL, I hope I'm saying it well, the Frenchman might just be able to have that 6th man to tell him, yo guys, this is the mistakes you're doing, this is how we're going to have to change things up on the T side. And if he's giving them some of that information, it's obviously worth gold for Freedom Max. Oh man, just look at the confidence that Red Reserve have at this point. Crux right now, gonna boost himself up, and I think he sees the player in. But looks the thing, I don't think even Jinx want to try to contest the main control. In fact, just gonna be given up here. I can't really say this is still looking too good here for Freedom Max, but it looks like coming to this one, they do have some sort of plan here. The good thing is, though, here for the Frenchman, is that they do have a sniper rifle player in the form of Maka. So he just might be the one to try and find these openings here. Even though main control has been lost, it looks like Freedom Max might just try to recover it. But before that, they are setting up for some of these smoke grenades to actually be deployed over the middle. As right now, just smoke being deployed here to connector. Looks like, yep, Hampus and his buddy gonna be going for a bit of a boost here. Moving on to the right side, Maka anticipates that to take place. So that is at least 1 kill working out here for Freedom Max. Still, a lot more to go if they want to try to get this round in. Grux definitely hears the doors being opened up. I really don't think that's a ghost there, Grux. There's definitely a player right behind that squeaky door. I would presume that right now, Freedom Max, with now 15 seconds remaining, they have to make a push on one of these bomb sites. It's going to be the A bomb site right now. Grux, though, alongside for to be having such a good crossfire. And even though Maka jumping his way here on the bomb site, there's really nothing he could do. Oh man, that just sucks here for Freedom Max. They left themselves with so little time to work with to actually get the bomb down. And we just saw that at the end of it all, it was just a race to actually try to get that bomb down as soon as possible. And because of it, they ended up losing their players pretty much everywhere, towards Hy-Vee, towards Squeaky. Oh boy, it's not looking too good here for Freedom Max. Things are looking pretty dire for them, and would you look at that, Red Reserve. Looks like they do decide to go for a triple op setup this time around. Not gonna be fooling around. It's Rusty seeing a couple of these players coming his way. Can't land a single kill so far, but if anything, Hampa's gonna have to do some work here on the B bomb site. I would presume that Freedom Max probably gonna continue on with this bomb site push, as now Draken and he and Hampa's are both here on the B site. Well, to be exact, Hampa's on the B side, Draken here in the upper area. Trying to find some of these kills they have. Their sniper rifles scoped in, just ready and waiting for one of these Freedom Max players to appear in the crosshairs. But we can see that this is just a game of patience now, isn't it? You know, Freedom Max still holding off here towards B Toxic. Doesn't look like they really want to be committed to the bomb site just yet. In fact, they're taking their sweet time, aren't they? Maybe they're just hoping for one of these Red Reserve players to get a bit more overzealous and trying to find some peak here, but that's not really the case. In fact, Freedom Max, you can see that the players are just walking into the sniper rifle crossfire, and it's looking pretty solid here for Red Reserve. There's the 8th round right now for the Swedes, and this is just looking like such a one-sided affair so far. I thought the nuke matchup was pretty one-sided, but here, it's even more so. Wait, did it actually end up dropping one of the sniper rifles? Well, that seems to be it. Okay. Honestly, I mean, you have the 3rd sniper rifle being purchased, so I don't really see why you shouldn't continue on playing with it. Worst case scenario, if you end up losing the round, then there's really no need to be dropping away that sniper rifle. But They want to try to take this one safe, and well, Dragon constantly repeaking definitely isn't the safest approach. This is not looking too good right now for Red Reserve, but there's still some frags being fed out for Rat 3D Max. There's Hampus trying to flick around, and oddly enough, Fearoff wins the fight against Hampus. Oh no. Oh no, 3D Max, they do have bombs to control. That's great and all, but you don't have the bomb in your possession. In fact, it's dropped in T-spawn. So, someone from 3D Max has to recover it, or in fact, it may not even be necessary. As there's Fearoff to getting the kill on Rusty. In fact, Fearoff somehow gets an ace in this round. I didn't even notice it. That's, a pretty interesting acquaintance. It's still a pretty long road here for 3D Max to actually try to get themselves a somewhat decent scoreline here on the first half. It's still possible, don't get me wrong, but we're gonna have to see some consecutive round wins for 3D Max. Otherwise, the worst possible scenario for them is that, cool, they won the previous round, but imagine they end up losing this upcoming one, and it's, again, it's just eco. Pretty great Molotov usage here from 3D Max. Looks like they're just going to continue on with their push here at the bomb side. Rusty missing a couple of his spray bullets, but it's still looking pretty good right now for 3D Max. He might just be able to enter the bomb side, though. Hampus only sees the feet, can't really line up the kill. It does look like, with that Molotov being deployed in default, Haji not going to be committed to the defuse just yet. The bomb plant, pardon me. There's actually the flanker now being killed in a pretty quick succession for Maka. And it does look like Grux alongside 30B might just even try to go for the retake here. Wouldn't be too surprised if they actually commit here, but if they don't end up finding a kill quick enough, like in that scenario, I think they should back away, but they simply cannot. There's Maka and Haji finding the kills, and of course, there's the 4th round for 3D Max, and in fact, it's not looking too bad here for the Frenchman. Imagine if 3D Max ended up winning this round, they in fact reset the economy here for Red Reserve. So they might just be able to put themselves in a position where they could win 6 rounds. So it's obviously not too bad. Let's see Maka lining up. Can he get the timing right? Nope, not this time at least. Not going to be able to find the early kill here for 3D Max. And in fact, it's going to be Haji getting it. There's still a bit of a refrag here. And it looks like on the back of that kill, 3D Max is going to continue on moving forward on this bomb side. Yet Hampus is able to get a lineup of kills. And would you look at that? Even though 3D Max had such a good chance early on here, a quick lineup from Hampus. And this round is pretty much over here for the Frenchman. There's Maka. No longer with us, apparently. And 9 rounds here for Red Reserve. Apparently, that was a pretty big hit here for the 3D Max economy. We can see that they don't necessarily have the most amount of money in the world, so it looks like, yeah, it will be a force buy here for 3D Max, but obviously they have to try to make this one work. Otherwise, this is looking like a pretty one-sided first half so far for Red Reserve. Oh, at the very least, Mako finds a kill on Rusty. Wonder if 3D Max is actually going to continue on moving forward on this bomb site just yet. So I wonder... Oh, there we go. There's Jinx with a kill on Freddy. So we can see that some of these kills at least are working out for 3D Max. And in fact, looks like they might just continue on moving forward on this A bomb site. They saw that one of the Red Reserve players has pushed up quite aggressively. So this does mean that the bomb site is in fact empty here. 3D Max can very easily plant the bomb in this position, which means that with the bomb now being planted, they can put their players in some great post-plant positions and actually just win the round on the back of it. The great thing for 3D Max is that Red Reserve doesn't even look like they want to try to contest this one. They will allow for 3D Max to get one more round on the board, but at the very least, Red Reserve, if they end up saving the rifles here, they could actually keep them to the next round. But interestingly enough, we seeing some engagements towards Car, and yet Draken will be end up losing it. Don't they anticipate Hampus to be in this position? Nope, clearly they don't. Hampus now might just getting himself a second one, but that may not be the case. Right now, this is looking much better here for 3D Max. If they're going to be able to get themselves the 6th round here on the T side, that's actually going to be somewhat good. The way it was looking not too long ago, that it might have actually been like some ridiculous, like a 11-4 scoreline for Rit Reserve. And that was looking pretty bad here for Freedom Max. But I know slowly, have been able to acquire some of these rounds little by little. They might just be able to get themselves one more round here. So I guess, yes, with them now having the 6th round, it's going to be somewhat decent here for Freedom Max. Honestly, not that great, but Dragon, though, see, he's one of the players, and in fact, anticipates Jax to be up close, and in fact, Dragon almost wins the fight. Very close in doing so, but not to kill just yet. Hampus, though, towards Connector, finally gets the advantage, so to speak. But still, no kill. This is interesting. Let's see if Rusty can actually find anything. Apparently not. Fear is just ready and waiting for such a push to take place from Rit Reserve. And this is looking like a very solid round here for Freedom Max. They might just be able to get themselves that 6th round. That dear 6th round that Freedom Max clearly need at this point. There you go. That's a good spray there from Maka. And it means that it's all up to Hampus to try to get the clutch in, which of course is going to be quite difficult. And I also think, and more or less, yep, Freedom Max to realize the positioning there of Hampus, which means that the scoreline will be 9-6, still favoring the Red Reserve guys for sure, but with Freedom Max having at least 6 rounds to work with, it's obviously a much greater opportunity than just having measly 4 rounds. Looks like we're going to continue on with our second half of the first pistol round here. It's going to be almost a full rifle investment here. Pardon me, not rifle, but a full armored investment here from Red Reserve. Except for Draken, who actually decides to buy the P250, it looks like. And actually also drops the P250 for his buddy Grux here. It does kind of look like that the Red Reserve players are actually just going to continue on moving forward and save bombs. So there's in fact also a flank taking place at this very same time as the B-side players have been able to push through. And now they're just going to be able to get a quick wrap around here. It seems like David P does find a good kill on Hampus. And with that bomb now being planted, I can't really say that the Red Reserve players have got themselves in good positions. In fact, they're just all over the place. And at the same time now, Grux, yeah, there's really no way in the world it's going to be able to win that round. And yes, that's going to be the pistol round being picked up by Freedom Max. Which does mean that with the pistol round now going in their favor, they got themselves a very good chance to minimize the scoreline difference between the two teams. With the pistol round going in their favor, there's only a 2-round difference, but this upcoming round should be Nico, or will it in fact? Huh. Looks like Red Reserve do decide to go for the force spy apparently. We got to see the AK-47 come out here for Freddy B, and the rest of the guys, that's really it. That's pretty much... Oh no, there's 2 rifles. Okay, that's much better. 2 rifles to work with here for Red Reserve. That 1 scout in the form of... Oh, yeah, in the hands of Draken, should I say. But looks like... Whoop, that's a pretty bad start here from the likes of Red Reserve. They get the force spy in, but for now it's just the kills that are working out here for Freedom Max. Maybe the guys with the rifles can accomplish anything. There's Hampus, who's been able to sneak past through the smoke. Do they expect them? No, they clearly do not. And right now, Red Reserve looks like they're going to continue on with their push here on the bomb side. Hampus is going to try to do as much damage as he can, but of course the spray won't land. And right about now, Rusty should be able to plant the bomb here, which will mean some extra money here. Oh, nope, no bomb planted here for Red Reserve apparently. It's all up to Hampus to try to get this one in, but it's so difficult. He had himself a good spot, not gonna lie, but he was so low in HP, and of course, he was up against 4 CTs. This seems to be a pretty good opportunity here for the likes of Freedom Max. They might just be able to even up the scoreline at this point. As we can see, the scoreline is 9-8, favoring Red Reserve, but because the Swedes have to go for an eco here, this is a great opportunity for Freedy Max to just even up the scoreline here. It should be a pretty good round for Freedy Max to even up the scoreline, but if Red Reserve going to be landing shots like that, I'm not really sure if am I going to be too confident here with the Frenchies. There's a Maka now, the only guy defending the B bomb site. Actually, no, it does have his teammate backing him up, so I guess it's not too bad. But with them not being so focused on defending the 2 bomb sites, Freedy Max have entirely left middle open. This is just open for business. Red Reserve have one player here in a pretty awesome position. Looks like he has been spotted out though. Yeah, looks like Freedy Max at least know that there's some guys here in the middle, but obviously still have no idea where on earth the push is going to be taking place. Might just happen here at the B bomb site. There's Maka waiting to fight against Hampus. But like I said, CTs still have no idea where on earth the Red Reserve player is going to make the push happen. It could very much be here on the B bomb site. Could still be on the A bomb site. Just ready and waiting. Haji though does have his teammate David P backing him up. 30 seconds though. If those look like, yeah, that right about now Red Reserve going to continue on with their push here on the bomb site. They do have all of their players here. There's Freddie B winning the fight against Haji, which does mean that there's a bomb plan here for Red Reserve. David P, of course, doesn't want to be peeking by his lonesome there. He needs his teammates to back him up. Of course, the cavalry has live, but with this cavalry here, they must try to continue on with the push here. They can't just be standing around here. Oh, there you go. There's a kill for Maka. There's Grux able to get the replay in. Dragon trying to line up their shots with the Deagle. They can't really say this is working out too good here for Freedy Max. Rusty in a pretty prime position to get something done here. Rusty, though, he's solo in HP, yet he still wins the fight. It's all down to Rusty in this one-on-one scenario against Maka. Maka just running around with the USP of his, and Rusty playing this one to perfection. And finally, is there actually enough time to get the defuse in? I think there is. Maka does get the defuse here for Freedy Max. And somehow Red Reserve... oh, they were so close to actually winning that round, but it's a good thing that Freedy Max are actually able to recover from that scenario. It looked so horrible for them at one point, but at the very least, they do recover. Right, so the scoreline has been even up here. Pretty well done here by Freedy Max, not gonna lie. It's just that right now, this is where the big boys play. The gun rounds are upon us. And so far, Red Reserve has been able to show some serious dominance in that regard, but we're seeing some confidence play here from Maka. He's having a bit of a push there, but even he's gonna back away, not gonna continue on with that push. Ooh, pretty early kill here for Red Reserve. It still looks like with that player going down in middle, still going to be only one defender here. That's in fact now Fearov, the only guy who's going to have to hold on this push. And with him being with the MP9, that's really not the best gun in that scenario. But it doesn't look like that Red Reserve even want to try to contest middle at this point. Primarily, it's just going to be an A bomb side push, though. Maka's got a pretty good angle here. There's really not even a single smoke grenade being deployed here by the Red Reserve players. And it kind of looks like they know the position there of Draken. Or actually, no, that's Rusty in that position. Even though the Molotov is deployed, still somehow Rusty wins the fight against Haji. And right about now, yep, you can't really do anything at that point of your Maka. You're left in such a difficult scenario. And that will be another round here for Red Reserve. And to be exact, their very first round here on the terrorist side. Oh, and would you look at that. On the back of Red Reserve winning that one simple round and doing some pretty decent economical damage in the previous ones, they have reset the economy of Freedy Max, which does mean that a force fight will take place. So we will see the Frenchmen purchasing some of those upgraded pistols, the Kevlar as well, but if Freedy Max can end up losing this one, then yes, it means that they must go for one more eco to actually try to build up as much money as possible, and then get a proper investment in. But for now, even though it is a force spray here from Freedom Max, doesn't look like they're going to be doing anything out of the ordinary or trying for some funky pushes. In fact, they're just going to be holding their default positions, apparently. No aggressive plays just yet. Red reserve guys now. Making some push here towards the middle. GG.Bet now stuck in connector. He's going to pop out, but it looks like Brooks anticipates him to be there. And pretty nice shot there from Brooks in the second guy. But yes, this is looking like a pretty good round here for Red Reserve. Yet again, we're going to be able to see them actually plant the bomb, put themselves in a very good scenario to actually win this one. And Hempus still going to be trying to win the fight against Rux, but Rusty's there to help him out. So yeah. Not too bad of a round here for Red Reserve. They, in fact, are able to minimize their casualties to only one player, which obviously isn't too bad, especially going up against a force spy like that. And this is obviously a good opportunity for them to secure one more round here on the terrorist side. We get to see that Freedom Max, on the back of their force spy previously, it means that they must build up as much money as possible, which means that a full eco must take place. And it's going to be a standard mid here. Yep, standard mid push here from Freedom Max. Doesn't look like Hampus is anticipating the amount of players he must face here. And in fact, the entire Red Reserve squad is just going to make their way towards the B-bombs. And Hampus should be able to actually back away here from their pistols, but even he can't survive that engagement. So that's the rifle now in the hands of Freedom Max. And for them, I'd say it's of top priority to try and save that gun. Uh-oh. Still looks like Fearoff wins the fight against Freddy, but that was quite an interesting engagement. Freddy trying for the long-range spray. Probably would have been a bit wiser to try to go for the Tapson, but I mean, if you're going up against players who aren't on an eco, and if you're able to line up at least some of those couple body shots in a row with the spray, I was just able to get a pretty good aim punch on some of these players, and kind of see the logic there from Freddy, but of course, that round previously doesn't really matter too much. The eco did take place. It ended up here victoriously for Red Reserve, and right about now we'll be able to see the Frenchmen making a pretty decent investment here. In fact, a decent amount of utility from their side, and the WP in the hands of Maka, and one defuse kit for Fearoff. So I guess it's not too bad here for Freedom Max. But again, if they're just gonna go down to a similar downward spiral they hit on a map like Nuke, I mean, that would be quite satisfying, especially the second half of the game. Oh, Hampus though has been spotted out. Good kill here by Hatchet. He's just spinning around, wondering where the players could be coming from, and then Dragon misses the shot, interestingly enough. So this is just an awesome opportunity for Freedom Max to actually get themselves the first gun round on the board. As right now, there's GG.Bet making the flag happen, and what you're looking at, what a clean round here for Freedom Max. They're able to win it with all 5 players surviving, which means that's going to be such a great boost for the economy of Freedom Max. Oh, there's Maka in a pretty peculiar position, yet he still somehow gets out of there with even 1 kill, interestingly enough. Still not too bad of a scenario here for Freedom Max. As we can see, the trade's looking pretty solid here for the Frenchman, but Hampus is able to spot out Jax in a pretty, oh, pardon me, Jinx in a interesting position. With that smoke now being deployed, he should be able to back away and play a bit more safer here, but he's just going to continue on holding towards the vent room. By the looks of things. Now this is still looking like a pretty good opportunity here for Free Max to get themselves the 11th round of the board, but we have to note one simple thing, that these players here from 3D Max are playing relatively far apart from one another, and well, the good thing is that David P won't even get checked in that corner. Apparently he's just going to be continuing holding that position. Draken alongside his buddy Hampus in a pretty peculiar spot right now, as they have to clear out so many angles at this point. And there's really nothing Red Reserve can do here other than try to save that gun here for Draken. If he's able to pull off the save, then yeah, sure, I'm almost certain Red Reserve in the upcoming round might just try to go for the force buy here, but I'm not really sure why Draken's trying to peek there. Probably his best bet, yes, try to save that gun, which he did succeed. Oh, now that I actually take a look at it, I can't really say the Draken has had quite the performance here on a map like Cash. It's pretty much the guys who don't really anticipate to be fragging out of their minds. It's Grux, it's Hampus, interestingly enough. Guys like 30B, Rusty, pretty calm in this round. Well, not necessarily this round, but his second half in particular. But yes, we saw the timeout being picked up. Not really sure which team decided to go for the timeout, but I'm almost certain 3D Max or in Red Reserve could definitely use the timeout at that point. Discuss their future plans here in the second half. I will admit though, that timeout didn't last for too long. More often than not, in online Counter-Strike, you're going to be able to see these timeouts taking quite a long time. You might think that, oh, it's just a tactical timeout, but suddenly that tactical timeout turns into a potty break as well. Someone's gonna gotta go to WC. Here though, Haji, holding quite the aggressive angle towards mid. He might just be able to see one of these players actually peeking into his crosshairs, but I think, yeah, he does have his teammate backing him up towards Forklift, apparently. So this crossfire here between the two players could work out for them. Right about now, Haji still holding the position. Yes, Hampus just walks into his crosshair, and right about now, Haji still finds a second kill on Grux, most importantly. So yet again, this is a great opening. Well, shall I say openings here for 3D Max. It does look like Red Reserve might just try to go from the all-out play here on the B-bomb side. 3 players still remaining here for the Swedes. They can still get something done here, and there's Rusty with a kill on Jinx. So this does mean that bombs control now going to be going here for the Swedes. They got to be able to plant the bomb here in this position. But with that bomb being planted, I'm almost certain 3D Max is going to continue on with the retake. There's really no point for them to try to hold this one off. Especially if they can find a kill quick enough. But the positionings here from Red Reserve are kind of off because Draken, even though he does have an AWP, is looking towards the Ventrum. So probably not the best way to be using a sniper rifle, but we still get to see that some of these kills are working out perfectly for Red Reserve. All the kills are working out for them, and there's David P finding one. Now we're down to the one-on-one in which Draken does succeed against David P. And this does mean that as much of a close round as it was, it is a victory here for Red Reserve. Now would you look at that. The Frenchman kind of struggling here in the money department, and it looks like, yeah, it's going to be a force buy from their part. It's obviously not going to be looking too bad, in fact, because some of the guys they had previously saved up around like $3,000, $4,000 in the pocket, so it's not as bad as they might have thought it might look here for 3D Max. But as we get to see, every penny being invested. David Pito with the 5-7 trying to do whatever he can there, but it's obviously quite the big range disadvantage with that 5-7, especially if you're fighting off in players towards middle. Quite an interesting position to be holding if you're David P. There's Jinx, who still hasn't revealed his position. He actually got a kill, and in fact he does succeed here against Rusty. That's a pretty good pickup here for 3D Max, but most importantly, the Red Reserve guys are going to continue on with this push here on the A-bomb side. This is just looking like solid stuff for them. Yet again, they're going to be able to take over bombs to control, and as we can see, 3D Max, it kind of looks like they want to try to go for the retake here, but let's be real. it's gonna be so difficult for them to actually even try to find some of these kills. I don't even think that Red Reserve are gonna allow them to get those kills that easily, and that's pretty much the case. They put themselves in some safe positions here, Red Reserve, and the good thing for them is that Freedom Max won't even try to contest this one. The Frenchmen will try to save the weapons they have found here in the battlefield. And with these rifles being saved, something tells me that this upcoming round, it might just be another force fight here from 3D Max. I'm not really sure if that will necessarily be the case here for 3D Max, but you have to realize one very simple thing here, that we're running out of rounds here at the second half, so obviously 3D Max, they will increase their chances of winning a round if they have a proper investment, which they kind of do here. I mean, they do have the rifles to work with, so that's pretty good for 3D Max. But there's a big but. That they don't necessarily have all the utility to work with, so let's see what they can pull off here. As 3D Max, I can't really see that they've been going for any aggressive pushes. In fact, that's one thing that I have to note about the CT side, that it has been quite static, I'd say. There has been a couple rounds where some of their players have found the individual engagements, but primarily it has been like the players on the A side doing some work. Middle, for what seems to be quite a lot of, what is it? Quite a lot of times right now, they're just giving up mid control yet again here for Red Reserve to just take. Obviously, the thing is though, with 3D Max, they don't necessarily have the weapons to be trying to fight for that mid control, so it's looking pretty bad right now. Yep, it is looking pretty bad right now for 3D Max. Fearoff has got the angle to maybe get some kills here, but I mean, nope, not a single kill for him. Right now, 3D Max are going to have to give away the bomb site here for Red Reserve, and something tells me that, yeah, it's just going to have to be another save here for Haji and David P. And honestly, I wouldn't be too surprised if the reigning Red Reserve players would try to hunt down these Frenchmen. That seems to be very plausible. As imagine, if you're Red Reserve and you're able to take down the two rifle players that are saving, that pretty much means that in this upcoming round, 3D Max, they will only have, like, the upgraded pistols, maybe someone's gonna pop a FAMAS, and maybe some SMGs. That's gonna be it for their investment. So obviously things are looking pretty sour here for 3D Max, as Red Reserve have now reached match and map point. And 3D Max, if they still want to stay in this matchup, of course, all they have to do right now is just win 4 rounds in a row on the CT side. That's all they have to do. As simple as it may sound, it's obviously not that easy here for 3D Max. And like I said, I mean, they have been able to save a couple of those rifles, and right now we get to see a couple of FAMASs being purchased. An MP9 in the hands of Fearoff. It's obviously not looking too good here for 3D Max. There's going to be one of the players actually fighting for some mid-presence, and that's Fearoff with the MP9, it's interestingly enough. I'm quite surprised he was able to find that kill. Brook's still trying to find the kill here towards the B side, but we can see that Maka is able to win. And right now, things are looking pretty interesting here for Red Reserve. They actually spread out quite thin here across the map. And, oh, that's Draken's Molotov doing all the work. But yeah, as we saw right now, the Red Reserve players have spread out quite thin across the map, and they have lost 2 quite important kills pretty early on here, which means that 3D Max have got those openings in their favor. Though, as we get to see time and time again, 3D Max not being too careful about the mid presence. And I'm not really sure. Okay, now they're definitely going to be very aware of the guy coming in from highway. Hajido will win the fight against Hampus, but now he has revealed his position towards the shroud box. So he might just have to face a very strong pre-fire anytime soon, but Draken alongside Freddy B not going to commit to the bomb site just yet, apparently. They're just going to continue on waiting with that smoke not being deployed. Haji now right in the smoke, and yep, Draken can't find a single player here. Now it's all up to Freddy B to try to get the clutch in, but with that bomb being dropped, I'm not really sure if Freddy can find anything at this point. Yep, it's really that hard for Freddy. There's now the 12th round for 3D Max. I'll say not a bad round here for the CT side, but one thing I will note, this round probably was a reality check here for Red Reserve. I don't think they're going to be playing as spread out as they did the round previously. If anything, I wouldn't be too surprised if they try to go for a more execute style of play here early on in the matchup, or a bit later once the CTs end up expanding their utility. And that will also make a lot of sense with Sweets. Some early grenades being deployed, yet not a single point of damage from them. Oh, David P playing a bit more aggressive, and the aggression does work out for him. There's the first kill for 3D Max. And even though the bomb was dropped there, it's still not a lot of information here for 3D Max. They're still not really aware or sure where the bomb is going to commit. Draken right now, clearing out every possible angle, though he has no idea about what other player who's playing pretty safe there right behind quad. And Hampus yet again just walking out. Somehow not anticipating that there could be a player by his right side. And yet again, this is a pretty doable situation for 3D Max to win one more round here. It's a 5-on-3. The Red Reserve players looks like they want to continue on with this push here on the bomb site, but they're just shifting. They haven't made a single beep noise, and well, still not gonna matter. Flash rains in, and here's all the kills working out here for 3D Max. Draken very much alive with that sniper of his, but there's the flank coming in, and a kill and a round here for 3D Max. So it is now 13 rounds for them, and as we can see, the money situation, it's not looking all sunshines and rainbows from Red Reserve. So like I said, I wouldn't be too surprised if it just has to be Nico. One Nico here, and in the very last round of the half, then they make the proper investment. But for now, things are looking pretty good for 3D Max. They definitely got themselves that opportunity to actually secure 15 rounds here. And of course, once the scoreline, well, if it will be 15-15, we will be heading over to the first set of overtime. Oh, okay. Somehow 30B has made his way into the bomb site, so there's going to be a bomb plant here for Red Reserve, but obviously there's really no chance in the world they could actually pull this one off. 30B got the Glock in hand, but yeah, there's a pretty awkward engagement. Yeah, 30B somehow recovers the rifle, but yes, that will be most importantly a round here for 3D Max, and now, like I said, they're just one round away to actually secure themselves the first stage of overtime. Oh, not too bad there by Hampus. The fact is, while he was actually making those jumps, he was masking the jumps with the AK-47 being fired off. So that was actually some pretty slick stuff from Hampus. As you can see, he goes down, so we're back to a 4-on-4 scenario. Oh, there is in fact an auto sniper being purchased. It's in the hands of David P. I'm not really sure where David P is stationed at. I think it's on the A bomb side, from what I can tell. Alongside his buddy Haji. They got two scoped rifles here. The AWP and the auto sniper, both on the A bomb side. Though it is interesting, well, in terms of their positioning, there's of course Haji playing very close by main, and David P looking towards highway. In fact, this means that no one's really looking towards squeak door, so this defensive, I can't really say it's looking too solid here for 3D Max. Okay, David P now puts himself in a bit more optimal position. Yep, he's got the auto sniper out. Now there's going to be a lot of these players coming his way. They got themselves a good crossfire setup. Would you look at that? Hadji and David P pretty much able to make this one work. Hadji does go down, but there's simply not enough time for Freddy to actually get the bomb down, which means that we will be heading over to our first set of overtime, and it will be not too bad, I'd say, for 3D Max. They're going to be quite happy to the fact that they have reached overtime. And I think they will have some more mental fortitude in the set of overtime. There's some early engagements here towards the middle. Still working out here for Red Reserve, as out of all of this, they will still get a kill here onto Jinx. And looks like we're going to be seeing a counter boost here pretty early on here, apparently. Not sure David P is going to commit fully just yet, or he's going to try to wait for the perfect timing. You can see that, yep, yes, David P has revealed his position. He's still not going to be able to get out of there alive, so it does mean that 3D Max out of the best position right now, as we can see. The Frenchman's stuck in a pretty awkward scenario, yet there's still a refrag with the nade. Of course, at this point, Red Reserve, I just wouldn't be too surprised if they, in this scenario, would just try to regroup and try to hit one of the bomb sites, but they're still walking out of middle, and they're still able to get some of these kills. In fact, it's all up to Hadji to try to get this one, and I think the Red Reserve players realize that Hadji has been primarily playing on that B bombs, on this A bomb site. So that is why they decided to head on over towards B, plant the bomb, and, well, have themselves some great positioning. Ooh, looks like Hadji won't be able to save that AWP of his, but in all fairness, it is MR3 16K, so to run out of money is pretty much impossible in this scenario. So even though Hadji ends up dropping a dead, this team has still got a pretty decent amount to actually make an investment here, and it's going to be looking pretty solid. I mean, 2 sniper rifles here for Hadji and Maka, and of course, utility for days here for the Frenchman. Hadji, again holding a pretty tight angle here towards main, and then Dragon is going to be anticipating him to be in that position. And right about now, it looks like Red Reserve going to continue on making their way onto his bomb site, and Hampus won't be able to succeed against Fearoff as he gets blinded by the flash grenade. And looks like, even though they do get the early kill here, they don't want to be going towards his A bomb, so the B side is where Red Reserve want to make the push happen. And of course, Rusty finding the kill on Fearoff, so now if they want, they can very much go back towards the A side, but apparently that won't be the case here for Red Reserve. They got themselves bombs control in B, and oh, yep, Maka already being shot at by the players from B side, and that will be a pretty convincing victory here yet again for Red Reserve. The second round here in overtime being picked up here by the Swedes, and yeah, on the back of those pretty big investments from 3D Max, They won't be able to purchase a second sniper rifle this time around. It's going to be the one in the hands of Maka, which is still, I'd say, pretty enough here for 3D Max. Oh, that's an early kill for Hampus. Looks like Haji gonna try to win that fight, which he does, but he still gets traded out by Draken. So yet again, what, 20 or so seconds have passed, and it's still a very good scenario here for Red Reserve. A 4-on-3, most importantly. And looks like Dragon finds a kill on the third guy here at the A bomb site. So this is just the perfect cue for Red Reserve to actually try to regroup and just hit that A bomb site. But they're taking their sweet time. Right about now, I think Rusty has made his way into the bomb site, and he will be able to telegraph his teammates that there's actually not a single player here. And yes, it is pretty obvious right now that there's not a single player there on the A bomb site, which means that Jinx, even though he has made his way out of B, I'm really not sure how is he going to be able to win this one. There's so many players he has to face. There's so many angles he has to check. Well, it's going to be very hard and too hard for him to get anything done. A perfect scoreline here for Red Reserve as they end up winning all three rounds here in the first half. And all they need right now is just to have one round in their favor. That's going to be it here for overtime, and most importantly, our second map and our entire best of 3 matchup, if they're able to come out on top. But we have seen a 3D Max comeback in the past, so I wouldn't be too surprised if 3D Max might just be able to pull off some magic out of the hat. Ooh, Maka gotta be quite careful about those flames on the boost. It's obviously sometimes the case that once you're actually scoped in with the sniper rifle, you don't necessarily spot out that you're actually being consumed by the flames. That's quite a thing that tends to happen for oppers. Maka though, that is quite the tight angle. He will be able to win the fight against Hampus, and I think he's anticipating someone to be from Highway. And in fact, there's some good game sense here from Maka to actually anticipate one more player to be there. But it's not going to be a full commitment here from 3D Max yet again. We can see that they're just going to be playing the clock in their favor. They got so much time to work with here on the T side, to be exact, a whole minute. So they don't necessarily have to commit on what the bomb says. They can just pick off these players one by one, which is working out so well for Maka as well as David P. Right about now, the bomb is going to be picked up here by 3D Max, and they can just go whenever they want. It looks like that place might just be the A bomb site here. Grux, the only guy here to try to hold off this push from 3D Max, but it's going to be so difficult here for Grux. But he does have his teammate Rusty backing him up. So let's actually see what this tag team duo could do here. There's one kill working out for Grux, but of course, now Rusty has to find a lot more to actually make this doable. And well, he's playing around smoke, trying to do whatever he can. But yes, that's such a difficult round for Rusty to be winning, which does mean that 3D Max do end up winning at least their first round here of overtime. Ooh, Draken, interesting enough, is able to survive that engagement. Lucky for him that David P doesn't end up hitting that shot. Boost right now taking place. This is quite unconventional. More often than not that you're going to be able to see one of the players being boosted up, sure, but both of them? Okay, let's see how it's going to work out here for Red Reserve. As one thing that I have to note, with the two players being boosted up, it's still quite a high chance that if you end up killing the one guy, it's very likely that you may not be anticipating the second guy. So it's interesting to see how this setup is going to work out here for Red Reserve. Looks like Freedom Max, they're going to be making the push happen. Looks like it's will be here on the B bomb sit. Hampus here by his lonesome. Doesn't have a single player to actually back him up. He's just in the smoke. They're trying to get the knife, and he does stab the player, but doesn't get the kill. Now he's still somehow alive there. The bomb site finally goes down, but at least I was able to soften up one of these players. That's Haji now, and I think 13 points of health. But it's still going to be a very difficult retake here for the CTs. They're going to try to give it their best shot, but we can still see that there's still some utility here for Red Reserve. And what an important kill there from Jinx. Could go for more here, and, well, he does end up dying here. And at the very least, right now, Rusty, yep, he goes down as well. It's literally the second round here for Freedom Max, and our second half of overtime is turning out to be pretty close here between the two teams. It's not as clear-cut as I actually hoped it to be. We get to see that the Red Reserve players, again, this being MR316K, they got a bunch of money in their pockets, so they will be able to invest. But oh boy, Freedom Max are definitely making this comeback yet again possible, as they did so in regulation. They are just that one step closer to secure here on overtime as well. Of course, if Freedom Max do end up reaching 18, this means that we're going to be heading over to our second set of overtime, which at this point is looking ever so likely. This is quite the slow round here for Freedom Max. In comparison to the previous ones, at least. There hasn't been a single frag that's gone in favor of either team, in fact. Draken might just have to abandon his position in the middle, as the Freedom Max players are definitely flexing their muscles here. There's, of course, Hampus getting the kill on Jinx. That's, of course, at least one kill working out here for Red Reserve, but we get to see that there's 30 seconds remaining, and it doesn't look like Freedom Max are committing to one of the bomb sites. There's 20 seconds. There's still a couple guys there on A side, and one of them right back on the B side. So right now, Red Reserve, they should be able to hold this one off against Freedom Max, as they have to check so many angles, but they cannot have the luxury of checking all of them. They have to go in for the bomb plant here. There's Freddy B getting 2 massive kills, and with that being said, Fear off last man standing, and as he goes down, as of course our second map done and dusted. So of course, guys, that's about it for our best of 3. In fact, Red Reserve ended up winning the first map. There's the second map also working out for Red Reserve. And that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed the broadcast. The name's Sir Danny. I hope my Twitter handle is written on the stream title. If it's not, well, that's a bit of a shame. But hope you guys enjoyed.